Hello, hello, hello. Y'all come on in. I am so excited to talk to you today because this is a really special topic. Y'all, I am about to redeem any coach that you have ever had. Any business building program that you have ever bought. I am going to work with you today to make sure that you get your investment back, even if the program was a total lemon. So here's what I want you to do. Y'all, comment in the comments. Let me know that you're here. First of all, give me a hashtag live. Give me a hashtag replay. You guys, comments in the beginning help your friends and other instructors and fit pros to find out about this content because you're letting the platforms know that I'm giving you valuable stuff. So get in there and make a comment, say hello to me. Let me know where you're coming from. And here's what I want to know in the beginning of this topic today. What is the result that you wanted from the last program you purchased? So you've been out there, you've been consuming all the free resources because that's how coaches get to know you and that's how they sell their stuff, right? So you've been consuming all the stuff and then you finally make a purchase and then nothing happens. Why do we do that? Why do we fail to get the results that the coaches promised? And why do we fail to sometimes show up after we've made the investment? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm so glad to see you guys here. Give me a hashtag live, give me a hashtag replay. Let me know you're watching. All right. So there are so many business coaches out there, so many programs. Not all of them work out for every single one of us. It could be very well that you have been burned in the past by a coach or a program that didn't deliver. Maybe it was the coach. Maybe they promised you something that just wasn't the reality of the program. Or maybe it was you. Maybe you made the financial investment, but you didn't follow through with all of the elbow grease required to get the results that you were looking for. Y'all, the facts are the facts. The right coaching program will help you shave hours off your weekly to-do list and years off your business development timeline while giving you back your sanity. It might just be time to dust that old program off and take a look at it with fresh eyes. Or maybe it's time to do an internal check-in and evaluate whether the relationship, why it wasn't a win-win for you. So today, I'm about to give you the exact reason coaching doesn't always work out, plus the steps that you can take to ensure to salvage that investment and get your business producing the results that you were looking for in the first place. So stay with me to the end because here's what we're going to learn. Number one, how to use your fears and limiting beliefs to propel your business growth. So it's part of one of the reasons that coaching programs don't work out, how to use your fears and limiting beliefs to propel your business growth. How to recognize when you are sabotaging your own progress, even if you don't think you are, and how to turn that around fast. I've lost my place in my script, y'all. Oh, yes, the third one. What happens? Listen to this. What happens when business coaching isn't all about business? So sometimes we fail at a program or it fails us because it's not all about business like we wanted it to be. And sometimes that can cause it to not work out. Let's talk about it. But first, let me say this. This is the Fit Pros Business Show for fitness, health, and wellness pros on the front line of improving the health of our world. I'm Kelly Coulter. I've been a fitness instructor and an online marketing geek since the 90s. I believe we all have a unique mix of experiences, expertise, and personality that makes us perfect to serve a specific audience. It's my job to help you find and serve your perfect audience so you can step away from the gym, serve the clients you love, and make a real living doing it. Are you ready to make a real impact in the lives of others while creating the life you dream of for your family and yourself? Let's get started. All right, so today we're talking about that last coaching program. I need for you to give me a comment, y'all. Let me know if you have purchased an online course or an online business development program or personal coaching. What was the result that you were looking for when you made that purchase? So just give me a comment, give me a hashtag live, hashtag replay. Let me know what was the result that you were looking for when you made that purchase. I believe there are three major buckets of reasons that coaching programs don't result in a win. And here's the first one. Sometimes we get all excited and we make a purchase and we think that making the purchase is going to be the thing that turns our business around. So we go and we make this investment, but the fact is we haven't we haven't done what I call wading through the river of misery for long enough. So you weren't really ready to level up. And by level up, I mean that you weren't ready to do the real work that is required to become the person that gets the result that you were looking for. So I was just talking with a high performance coach this morning, and she was actually saying something really interesting to me. So I was telling her all about audience development, and we were kind of exchanging some knowledge in that arena. And then she was asking me, well, what can I do for you? And I said, here's where I'm at. Today is my first day of doing 75 hard. So if you don't know what 75 hard is, it's a kind of a personal development thing that you do that you kind of take all your own vices away and you follow this program for 75 days. And I'm super nervous about it, y'all. I'm super nervous about it. So no alcohol for 75 days. Two 45-minute workouts. One has to be outside in the elements. Kristen started and she's on day 4. How did I know? Well, good. We'll commiserate on Wednesday. All right. So you do no alcohol, 75 days of two 45-minute workouts. One has to be in the elements. You follow a diet. You read 10 pages of nonfiction every day, and you drink a gallon of water. And actually, I'm most nervous about the gallon of water. That's a little bit much for me. I feel like I'm going to puke trying to get all that down. So I was talking with this high performance coach about it, and she said, well, what you need to do is you need to sit down and really decide who the person is that finishes that program. What does the version of you that finishes that 75 days look like? And I was like, oh my gosh, that is fascinating because I say it all the time to my clients that you have to be the person. You have to envision that person and you have to work on being that person. I think I talked about it last week, but I wasn't doing it for myself. So I loved that so much. But we started here because we were talking about the river of misery. We were talking about the idea that you may not have been truly ready to level up and become that person that gets the things that you promised yourself or that the program promised you when you invested. So here's what happens if you haven't waded through the river of misery long enough. You're kind of in the water and you're just looking around, right? And maybe maybe you catch a fish when it comes by. Maybe you're just waiting to see what happens, like waiting, WAIT, waiting to see what happens. But you're not really ready to face your fears and pick up your feet and swim in that river. That's wading through the river of misery. Now, people do not level up when they are wading through the river of misery. You do not get to be the person that gets the results by waiting. You have to pick up your feet and sink or swim. That's the only way leveling up happens. When we level up, we do things like letting go of limiting beliefs. We stop telling ourselves people will only pay XYZ, or fitness instructors don't make six figures, right? We let go of limiting beliefs when we level up. We let go of fears. We stop worrying about the fact that we're going to have to get on the phone with an actual person to make a sale. We're willing to do anything to make the thing happen, to get the result. And the fears and the limiting beliefs, it doesn't matter. The showing up to do the work doesn't matter. If you have to work an extra 2 hours a day because you're in a coaching program that tells you you have to do XYZ and you can't find that time in your day, when you are ready to pick up your feet and sink or swim, it does not matter to you. That's leveling up. That is sink or swim. Before that happens for you, you are just wading in the river of misery. And if you purchased a program and then didn't follow through on it, or told yourself that the things the coach was selling or teaching were wrong, it could be because you were still wading in the river of misery and you were not yet ready to sink or swim. This is also what causes us to quit or give up on programs. When you level up, you quit all the things that don't serve you anymore. But when you're wading in the river of misery, then you quit on the program instead. You guys, give me your comments. Let me know if this is hitting home for you. So number one reason, you had not waded through the river of misery long enough. You were not ready to pick up your feet and sink or swim. Number two reason that you did not get a win out of your last coaching or your last program or your last coaching program would be because you didn't have, or you lost trust in your coach. So each program has a leader. And the fact is, you buy a program based on your trust in that leader or based on the trust in what they are teaching you. But sometimes we get into a program and we lose that trust. Maybe they said something you didn't like. Maybe you don't agree with their methods. Here's the thing. When you are in a business development program or any type of program, you have to be willing to suspend disbelief and follow most of what your coach is recommending. So if you've ever heard of the Pareto Principle, it's about to get real up in here, y'all. I'm going to take the shirt off. All right. If you've ever heard of the Pareto Principle, it's the idea that 80% of your results will come from 20% of your efforts. So it applies to so many different things in life. If you look around you, you'll see in your business development efforts that 80% of your results come from 20% of the things that you do. 80% of your results might come from 20% of the social posts that you do, or that you make 80% of your revenue from 20% of your clients. That's the Pareto Principle, and it works out to be true in so many things. So many times when we are being coached or we're in a program and we start to lose trust, it's not because of 80% of what the coach is coaching you on or 80% of the lessons. It's more like there might be a 20% that's really bothering you. All right, so why is that important? Because if you didn't have or you lost trust in your coach, a lot of times that can cause you to fail in the program. But I would encourage you to examine whether it was the 80% or whether it was the 20%. If it was 80% of what the coach was coaching you on, then there's a problem with that program. But if it was the 20% that you don't agree with or you didn't like, then there are other things going on. And I would challenge you to look at your inner caveman. Because if it's the 20%, then what really happened could be self sabotage, right? It's the ugly truth, but it is the truth. It could have been you or your inner caveman sabotaging your own efforts. Y'all, let me know if this is resonating with you. Sometimes caveman says, I am too tired to do the work today. Sometimes caveman says, I have decided this coach does not know what he or she is talking about. Sometimes the caveman says, these lessons are too long. Those are self-sabotage, y'all. If you find yourself sitting on the couch watching TV with your spouse at night instead of going through the lessons that you have spent your hard-earned money on, or if you find yourself doing other things in your business that are not the things that your coach is coaching you to do, then you have to look at that. Why are you doing those things? Is that the caveman coming out to self-sabotage? Let me talk about another huge one that can cause you to lose trust in your coach. That would be level 5 conversations. So we've talked about the idea that you really have to limit the people around you and really guard your energy. And I talked about it yesterday in the email that I sent out. It's a very, very true and hard fact in my life and in most of our lives that we have to guard the people we spend time with, because you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So, what can happen sometimes in a coaching program or in any kind of community is that certain people can start to infiltrate and get a bug in your ear. And you think because you've invested into the program that you're around all level 10 people. You've invested because you want to be a level 10 person and you think that you're around all level 10 people. But all of these people in the program, they all have their own caveman that they're dealing with. So they're not all level 10 every single day of the week, every single hour of the day, just like we are not all level 10 every single day of the week, every single hour of the day. So what can happen sometimes is people can get together off to the side and start beep, 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 beep. Ever have that happen to you? So it's this offline conversation and it contains the following elements: complaining, blaming, shaming. She should have. That's a bad decision. This lesson was wrong. Second guessing, justifying. Those are level 5 conversations, y'all. It could be that you found yourself in a level 5 conversation and you didn't even realize that that was happening. And before you knew it, your trust in the program or in the coach or both had been damaged to the point that you did not get a win out of the program. All right, so level 5 conversations can be another real reason why programs do not work out for you. And then the third piece of this not having trust bullet point is around inadequacies in the program. So we talked about the Pareto Principle, and we said that if 20% of the lessons, or 20% or less, I should say, so if you lost trust or faith in 20% or less of what that program was teaching you, then I would invite you to look at whether or not you were actually kind of sabotaging yourself by allowing that 20% to take over and be the reason that you let it be not a win. Now, if 80% of what that coach was teaching, if 80% of the lessons in the program were just total crap, then you don't need to examine yourself. You purchased a lemon, and sometimes that happens, y'all. But we are operating under the assumption here, because I know my people, that we are all well-intentioned, intelligent adults who do our research, and we understood what we were purchasing before we purchased it. So if 80% of that program was total crap and you just really bought into it, let's say without doing your research, then that's a lesson learned on you. But let's say you did do your research and then you got in the program and 80% of the lessons were just crap or not applicable to you, or the things that they were teaching just really didn't work. Then that might be on the coach. That might be on the program. That might mean that they had fake reviews out there. Might mean that they were doing, I don't know, anything nefarious. I can't even think that way to even say what they could have been doing to game the system. But that's going to be a really rare instance. That's not going to be the 80%. That's going to be more like the 1%. It's going to be an extreme outlier where someone just has a crap program, there's nothing in it, and they're getting people to invest by just outright lying. Let me know if this is resonating for you guys. Does this make sense? So chances are, if you lost trust in your coach or in the program, I want you to examine whether or not that was self-sabotage and the caveman coming out for you. I want you to examine whether or not you found yourself in level 5 conversations where you were complaining, shaming, blaming, justifying, second guessing, all the level 5 things. All right, so here's number 3. Number 3 would be this: you were coached on the what without going deeper into the pieces you were not executing on. So sometimes a program will contain all of the do this, do this, do this. And you find yourself not doing this, not doing this, not doing this. Yo, there are only 3 reasons why people don't do the things that they are told to do. So there's only 3 reasons in a coaching program that your coach would say, go do this, and then you did not do it. One is that they don't have the tools. Now, we're going to assume with any coaching program that you've been in that that is likely not the case, because they are either, coaching programs are either sold around specific tools, or we're using tools that all of us have steady access to on the internet. So likely it's not that you did not have the tools. The second reason that people don't do what they're supposed to do or what they're told to do would be that they don't know how. The coaching program should take care of that, right? That's why we buy coaching specifically, is for the how. And then the number 3 reason might be because you didn't agree. So here's the thing: if your coach is coaching you along and you're doing some of the things, but not all of the things, or maybe you're not doing any of the things, and your coach is not examining which of those 3 reasons that are in play to cause you to not do those things, then your coach may not have gone deep enough. Or it could be that you weren't willing to dig in on those reasons, because likely those reasons are deep and hard. Those reasons are big psychological kind of blocks Those reasons are the things that we get emotional about, and we don't always like to get emotional, especially around business. So it could likely be that you didn't go deep enough on why you weren't executing. Maybe you weren't really ready to address the deeper stuff. And so you kept it hidden. Let me know if this is resonating for you guys. So let me give an example. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to see. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so yes, a coaching program should teach both the how and the why. I'm so sorry I lost you guys. I clicked on something to try to see the comments, and it opened up a new browser window. And I lost StreamYard for a minute. Okay, so we were talking about the fact that sometimes you're coached on the how and you're coached on the what. And then you're going along and you're not doing the what, right? Even though the coach has told you how. So you've got the tools available and you know how to do it, but you're still not doing it. It's that third reason. It means you don't agree or you have an issue with it. Now, that's okay. But if you were not ready to do the deeper work around why you're not doing the thing, then that means you weren't ready. You were still waiting in the river of misery, right? If your coach didn't dig in with you on the why, then I think that that's a conversation, right? That you likely should have had with that coach, or I wish that you would have had with that coach if you were in that type of arrangement where you're getting one-on-one help. Now, a lot of us have purchased these programs that are bigger. They're somewhere between 500 and 3,000 bucks, and they don't really provide any access to a coach. It's just like a curriculum that you go through. And you didn't have any access to that person. I think that's the inadequacy of a program like that a lot of times, is that you don't have the ability for somebody to say, let's talk about why you're really not doing this. So I see this a lot with my accelerators and even with my business Kickstarters. One of the biggest things that you have to do in order to get a business going is you have to have conversations. And over again, I see that as one of the biggest struggles that my people have, that they don't go out and have the conversations. So I can tell them exactly what tools to use to have the conversations. And I can give them scripts to start the conversations, but over and over again, I will see it's not happening. And the why is the reason that it's not happening. Y'all, because having conversations is scary as hell, right? Because having conversations can be time consuming. Because having conversations, why can't I just automate it instead? We'll go around and around and around, and we will have all the reasons why we shouldn't have to have the conversations because it's scary. But when we really go deep on it and we address that fear, then we can bust past it. When my people are done waiting in the river of misery and they're ready to pick up their feet, they go have those conversations and they start making money. So you have to address the why. And if you don't have personal access to a coach, then you have to address the why in some other way. Journaling, vision boarding, meditation, taking a run, doing it scared, doing it anyways. Who here has read Do It Scared? Okay, y'all. So here's what I want to say to you. If you have been, whether you've purchased a curriculum program or whether you have purchased a program that contained a curriculum as well as one-on-one access to a coach, chances are you did take something away from the program. Yo, we are all entrepreneurs, which means we are resourceful. So we likely took something away from the program, and that's worth something. So when you're going through these steps and you're thinking about this coaching program that you don't feel like you got a lot out of, I want you to look at what you did get out of it. Was it a mindset shift? How much is that worth to you? Was it the start of your business, even if you didn't make what you really wanted to? Is that worth something? Did you make your investment back in the intangibles? I heard somebody saying about pricing the other day that if someone were to take away all of your knowledge around fitness or health, what would you pay to get it back? Did you get that investment back? Is it worth something? So that's my first step in trying to recoup or think differently about that investment. The fact is, as an entrepreneur, you need a coach. You need a community of people around you that are doing the same thing, that are hearing the same lessons, that can reflect back to you your own thoughts and help you to recognize when you're having a thought error or you're stuck in a thought loop so that you can move forward. Because so much about entrepreneurship is flipping the intuitive or the reasonable on its head and doing things differently. That's why not everyone has a solid six-figure business, because not everyone knows how to flip these things on its head. All right, so go back, take a look. Did you gain something out of it? Is there something you can still gain out of it? For a lot of us, especially if you bought a course that didn't have a lot of access to a coach, you can still access those lessons and you can still get something out of it. So before you just wash your hands of it, see if there's anything that you can get out of it. And then also just recognize the fact that you're going to be in coaching for a long, long time, because even as you get to six figures, even as you get to seven figures, especially as you get to seven figures, you'll really start to recognize the value of having a coach, of having that person to bounce the thoughts off of, and you won't ever leave. You will always have a coach, even if it's not the same one. Okay, y'all. So, 3 reasons that coaching programs don't result in a win. Number one, you had not waded through the river of misery long enough and you weren't really ready to level up and pick up your feet. That resulted in you not showing up to do the work or quitting when things didn't work out, or just not letting go of the right limiting beliefs. Number two was that you didn't have, or you lost trust in your coach. And this can happen because of self-sabotage, the caveman getting out here and telling us all the things. This could happen because of level 5 conversations. And if you are in a coaching program and you are engaging in level 5 conversations with other people in that coaching program, stop right now. Y'all, shame on you, because you are damaging your own investment as well as other people's investments. Do not engage in level 5 conversations. Complaining, blaming, shaming, justifying, second guessing. Number 3, there may have been inadequacies in the program. We talked about the 80-20 principle. If 80% of what the coach is teaching is really good, then the 20% doesn't matter. And if 80% is completely inadequate, then we may have invested in the wrong program. All right. And then number 3 was that you were coached on the how and the what without being without digging into the why, or digging into the why you're not doing it. Only three reasons people don't do something. Number one, they don't have the tools. Number two, they don't know how. Number three, they don't agree. A coaching program should get you one and two. So if number three is happening, then hopefully you had enough access that you were able to get coached on the why you're not doing it. And if you were, did you keep that real emotional reason hidden? Because that can cause your program to fail. All right. So the comment here I'm seeing, it says, we have to be honest. If we did not do the work, I'm guilty. So make that commitment to yourself when you join a program. Yes, yes, yes. Now, what do I want to say about that? I love that point. It's so important. Also, commitment only gets you so far. So, you know, there was a study that came out a while back, and it talked about accountability, and it talked about the fact that if you make a goal, you're like 10% likely to achieve that goal. If you make a goal and write it down, you're like 15%. If you tell your friends, you're like 25%. But if you have accountability through a community and a coach that's checking in on you, then your likelihood of getting to that goal is more like 95%. I could be misquoting this study radically, but the result ratio was much, much higher. So what does that mean? That means that you do need accountability, because commitment is only going to get you so far. That's why we join coaching programs that give us access to coaches. And that's why we join coaching programs that have community around what we are looking to do. Your coach cannot go out and dive for your body if you just completely give up. That's not what group coaching programs are about. But if you're showing up and doing the work, then your coach should be meeting you at least halfway and doing that work with you and coming alongside you. All right. So here's what I want to give you. If you have been involved in a program and you did not get the results that you're looking for, I want you to book a 15-minute diagnosis call with me. I want to help you evaluate your current business. I want to find out what is blocking you for real this time. And I want to help you strategize on next steps so that you can see if you can possibly salvage that investment that you made in a past program. So I'm putting the link here. And this will not be a call where I will pitch you on my program. This will be a call that is my gift to you from the coaching industry to see if we can salvage that investment that you made in that past program by getting access to lessons or taking the lessons learned and unpacking them. All right, so that is my gift to you. It's calendly.com/Kelly-Calder/diagnose. And I'm putting that in the show notes and in the comments. I would love to hear what you think of today's conversation. Please comment and contribute. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. And if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you are in the Grow Your Fitness Business for Instructors, Trainers, and Coaches group on Facebook, not my business page, but my group, because that is where we network, support, and train. And I cannot wait to support you there. All right, y'all, that's what I have for you today. I can't wait to read more of your thoughts as we continue to watch this in the replay over the next couple days, and I will see you soon.